Welcome to another episode of the Gamer's Time Capsule. I am your host, Jay A. LaRock. You can find this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google, Amazon, everywhere. And we need your help because we're trying to spread the word. This podcast is basically about collecting gaming stories from gamers. Doesn't matter if you're popular, novice, unknown, celebrity. We want all your stories so we can collect them because a good story never dies. And then some people might say it's subjective, whether a story is good or not, but I think that everybody has a good gamer story out there, and that's what I want. I want to hear your gamer story. So we need help with that. Give us likes, do all the stuff to help spread the word, and we'll continue bringing you stories. And today we have another one from a great person that we interviewed on the Obsolete Gamer show back in the day, David Vogt, and we are happy to have him come back and tell us some stories. What was really cool talking to him last time was hearing about how his whole family was into gaming, you know, from his parents growing up and then him with his kids, and it's just great. So without further ado, let's get to it.
So I worked Missouri Game Con about a month and a half ago, and I've been running tournaments for them, the last 2 years. And along with that, we're trying to loosen it up and so we have this casual area for Doom. We had PCs networked, and it was just free for all. Come in, hop in, play, get up, walk away when you're done. It's cool. And we had this little girl who was probably 10, 11. And she sits down. She's just a little spitfire, just all confident, sits down. And I'll walk up and kind of help you, do you know how to play? And she's like, oh, I've played shooters. I played Roblox. Adorable. And she starts playing, and she's playing with the seat cycle in and out. There was one guy who was about 40-ish, another younger guy, and then I sat down too. And she was just adorable. She's like, hey, where are you at? And this guy's like, I'm not telling you where I'm at. She's like, just give me a hint. And just screams bloody murder. And she's like, suck it down. And you're like, what the hell is this kid? And she played for probably 45 minutes, just playing Doom, 1993 Doom.
Oh, wow.
With a bunch of adults and just having the time of her life. It was fantastic.
Wow, 10. I mean,
yeah, just a girl, just like, oh, I've played Roblox, so I know how to play games like this. And she was asking questions like, what's this? That's a shotgun? Okay, what's this? And just great. Seriously great. It's good to see somebody that young just pick it up and just have fun.
Yeah, that the idea of that is just great in itself. I mean, first of all, to be that young and playing that. I mean, yeah, I played back in the day, Nintendo, even Atari and stuff like that. But it's one thing to be playing in your own living room or whatever, but then going out to an actual place with a bunch of other people and then going and playing in front of other people. I mean, I know grown gamers that, they get anxiety about that stuff. So to see a little girl do that is fantastic.
Yeah, she's, whatever she does in life, she's going to do well, I think. Because part of the loosening it up was so many adult gamers, super hardcore, air quotes gamers, were like, yeah, I don't, they basically don't want to get beat in front of people. And they're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm good. I don't want to play. And this kid's just like, all right, put me in.
Speaking of younger gamers, I know that, last time that we talked, you talked about how your family was gaming all through your childhood. Do you have any stories, just awesome, either battles or just something to do with that time when you were playing with your parents, or maybe just your experiences as a parent yourself and playing with your kids?
Where to start? There's always something playing. There's always a console hooked up to a TV, almost always on when I was a kid. There was somebody playing something. But my mom, she was really into shoot 'em ups. She played everything from from day one. She was playing Space Invaders as soon as it came out, and then onward. And she had taken a shine to Xanac on the NES, so much so that she actually like went for a max out score and did it. She got rolled all straight nines. It was something. Took her a while, but she would ride her exercise bike while she played.
Oh wow!
As a way to be like, hey, I'm I'm not just sitting here. I'm actually getting some exercise. And she would have a tendency to like fly the controller, like it'd be a tense spot. There's, enemy fire coming down. She zips to the right, and as well as pressing right on the D-pad, she swings the controller to the right, like getting into it. And one time, her ass went right over. A whole bike just, you saw it in slow motion, just like hit the ground. She was fine, so it was funny.
But my sister did that with Mario Brothers. It was, what was it? It was the original SNES one. I think it was like World 1-3, the one with the mushroom trees. And it's like whenever she would jump, she would like actually turn her whole body with the controller to help jump. Oh man,
it's great. When I first saw the Wii or the Revolution, like when they first unveiled it, they're like, you do the motions and things happen. And that's the first thing I thought. It was like, oh man, Mom would love that. And probably would have thrown herself off another bike.
Well, how many people end up throwing their controllers at televisions? I remember all the videos of that.
Yeah, man, so many TVs. There are so many TVs were lost.
I remember watching my sister get better at Mortal Kombat. I think it was Mortal Kombat 2 actually. And at first it was like I would pick a character that I wasn't that good at, and then I would, go easy on her.
Yeah.
And then she played Sonya, and then slowly it's like she starts kicking my butt. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna switch to my second favorite character. Okay, now you're kicking my butt in that. All right, I'm gonna switch to my main character. All right, the gloves come off. Okay, wait a minute. You just pulled off a fatality on me. All right, we're gonna have to talk about this.
Oh, that's
the
fantastic.
Student has become the master.
Right. That can happen so quickly. And they learn how you play too. Like my son, we played Dragon Ball Fighters, the one done by Arc for
oh yes.
Mm-hmm. It was we're playing Xbox One, I think. But he's like, I've been playing this game, you want to play with me? I'm like, okay. And this kid has never been into fighting games at all. He's just like, I don't like being competitive and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's play. And he's just fucking rocking me, just destroying me. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I was trying to be easy, and I'm like, okay, I gotta adjust. And like, it was hard. It was like, what the hell? Like he was in my head. It was crazy. Too bad he didn't stick with the game. But
what was it like also just overall, like working at at the center and just having gamers come in and play? Because that's one thing that I didn't get to experience that much. I haven't actually been to many competitions. I've seen them on online and YouTube and stuff and Twitch. But what was it like actually putting that together and working with people that's playing games and tournaments and stuff?
Well, I'll sum up with this year, because it's been a process of getting more funding and more people to help. It was really difficult before. This year was really smooth. And so I was given just a budget to start with, so I could get gear I needed, as well as what was going to be brought into the venue. Then I recruited people for each game that I had to work. I had to do Doom, so I got a developer friend of mine who actually used to run Doom lands like back in the day. So he was a good source for that. I got my friend Tim to run WCW versus NWO and N64.
Oh wow, great game!
Yeah, so we had that in a Mario Kart, and we hooked up a second video out to run through a projector in the back, so there's something for the crowd to see. Then we also had another fellow who we had a Street Fighter tournament last year, and he he destroyed everybody. So this year he brought his own setup, and it was just like each thing had its own area. So his Street Fighter setup was come fight Ultra Sean. Just put your name down, hop in, play a game. If you win, he gives you $20. Then I had an extra PC set up with Frogger just for people who play and write down the score, just something different. But then the actual tournaments would run at certain times. So people would sign up and, we'd call out for them to come and we'd just run it right there on the floor. Doom was set up on the side, and that was just come over and play. Like we had some signage written up that my wife made, and it's really just being attentive and, having the people, they're all on the same page and everyone is just focused on keeping everything running. Run your brackets, make sure that if something, stops working, someone is there to always help you. So if something happens and, person A needs help, then someone else is there to help them out to get it back running. And same thing, if person C has a problem, then there's someone else. That way everyone has a support system and we can just keep everything going for everyone.
And I'm sorry, what was the name of this again?
Missouri Game Con.
Oh, okay. I know that it could be difficult to get something like that off the ground. I've talked to some people who worked on like some of the Comic Cons, not the main one, but like smaller Comic Cons, and just how it can be difficult, because it sounds like it could be a no-brainer, especially if you live in an area that doesn't have one, or maybe the nearest one is far away and then you want to start one, but it's difficult to get the word out, to get people interested, and to get the financial support and backing of sponsors and stuff. So that's pretty cool that you're able to do that. It's still going on too, right?
Every year. It's going on for 5 years now, I want to say.
Awesome.
It was a very small. Charlie runs a game store, and I think with other people in that whole scene, they were like, hey, what if we do, it started out like a swap meet. It still kind of is like a big flea market. Like, it's cool. You can find anything gaming there you want. There's a vendor, but they also had the wherewithal to, okay, well, let's get indies. So that's how I got started with it. Like in the beginning was showcasing my own work. And then just kind of happened that they would have somebody like, we're going to do a Mario Kart tournament. Oh no, they flaked. Hey, anyone know how to do this? I'm like, me. Okay, cool. Run it. And it's just like this total grassroots thing. It starts out small, gets bigger. COVID made it contract again, and it got smaller. And this year was better than the previous. But I think it's just, if I were to sum it up, it's a matter of knowing what you want to achieve, finding enough people that are going to rally behind that and make it happen in whatever fashion you can. It doesn't have to start out huge. And that experience will build very, very quickly. And you can, every time you come back to it, it's going to grow and grow.
And it's just great to have people come out and enjoy that, because you get to see so many different people. I know that, unfortunately, gamers still get a bad rap, and the loudest and angriest ones are the ones that get showcased. But honestly, I've met so many people that were just cool. And sure, sometimes people can be a little shy at first, and and depending on your personality, you might have to make that first move. But normally once you do, it's been a great experience. So I could just imagine that you've met a lot of cool people out there.
Quite a few. And it's every type. It's from just someone who's like, I liked playing Super Nintendo when I was like a kid, so I came here, and they can connect with you over that, to like my friend Tim McVeigh, the Nibbler guy. He's like royalty in competitive gaming, and he was there one year. And it's every type, and everyone it's like a melting pot. Everyone is kind of cool to everyone else. I think it's like that. It's been like that with everything I've been to, like other competitive things through Twin Galaxies beforehand. Like, people are just themselves, and they all, it's crazy. The clash of cultures, and everyone is generally cool. Like, they really are. Kids to adults, experienced, inexperienced, developers, competitors, just some folks that came down because, hey, it's the thing about games and let's see what that's about. It's pretty swell.
So, do you have any other stories? I mean, it's okay if you don't.
Yeah, you know what? I have one more. It's not
sweet.
with the kids though. It's with my wife. So when we met, like just let's say, it's August 2020, and she is, me, I'm super advocate of all things gaming, about as big a nerd as you can get with it. And she has played some Atari. She had a spurt when she played a few things on PlayStation when it first came out, and that was it, except for Bejeweled. And that was it. That was it. And she was like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, you like that stuff. You're into it. That's not my bag. That's okay." And then she bought me a Switch, and I showed her Animal Crossing.
Oh.
And that was in September of 2021. And now she has hundreds of hours on Animal Crossing. She has hundreds of hours and has almost maxed everything in Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh, great game.
She's playing Stray. She's playing Horizon Chase Zero. That's a arcade racer on, I think, every platform.
Oh yeah, I picked that up on Switch when it was on sale. Yeah, it's like, it kind of looks like cruise. Like, no, it's kind of like the 80s one. It has that 80s look. Is that it?
Yeah, kind of like a little bit like Outrun, but
Outrun.
Dude, that's so cool. And has the guy who did the music for Top Gear on the Super NES, he does the music for this. So if you ever look back, like, just pop on YouTube and throw up some Top Gear and then put that on, you're gonna hear some of the same pieces and the same style. It's crazy. It's fantastic. But no, she's like, she joked. She's like, "I'm a gamer now. How did that happen?" I think it's poignant because that is human nature. That's who we are. It's like, what was the writer, Johannes Huizinga, who said that humanity should be called Homo ludens, man the player, because we gamify everything we do because we kind of master our environment, and then we need something more. We need to dream. We need to look outside and forward, and that's what games are.
I know that I found myself using game terminology in everyday life. That's how people can quickly find out that I'm a gamer.
Yeah, no doubt.
I remember I told a friend of mine, I'm like we were talking about relationships and like how, like, what it would take to end a relationship. So like, if you had friends and they did something wrong and we broke it down to like a faction, it's like, well, think about in a video game, if you get your faction up to like exalted or high and then you do something wrong, it may drop a little bit. But if you do something heinous, it may drop a lot. So it's like that made sense to like gamers, like, oh, okay, now I get
it. No, I'll screw up my influence there, so I shouldn't do that.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
So what we also like to do with the pod is, if there's anything that you'd like to plug or talk about so that people who listen can go check it out.
Well, my most recent, it's kind of a update. It was a full-on remaster and re-release of my arcade style role-playing game. The Bounty V2 is freshly updated as of July on Steam. It's optimized for Steam Deck, so it's fully it runs natively on Steam Deck. No weirdness, no side booting, anything. So that's available now on Steam. $5.
Very cool. Do you have the Steam Deck yourself?
I do not. I'm on a waiting list to get one, like, as a developer. God knows, because there's one guy I was talking to who's on the same list, and I signed up like in the first day, and he was like a week and a half later, and he got his like 6 months ago. So I think it's really random. They're just like, okay, we got names, let's pull them out of the hat. And they never released anything. Like, it wasn't like they worked for Devolver or something. It's just a guy.
Yeah, so I definitely want to eventually get the Steam Deck. I don't have one either. I've been loving the Switch, so everything I read about the Steam Deck looks pretty cool. So
yeah, dude, it's a super Switch with like everything on PC. Please. Yeah, I had to send my game to somebody else to like, I knew all the specs that I needed, like the exact resolution you need to be able to exit your app with like this and like that. but then I had to send it off to have it tested, and then they give the okay.
And when is the next convention?
That would be, there may be one in February. I'll have to get back to you. There's one every summer, and most years there's also a smaller one around January, February.
That's very cool. I always liked going to like conventions like when it's cold. There's something about those months right after the holidays. It's like you get that kind of lull until like March, April. So
yeah.
January, February is good for that.
No, that's very good for that. That's like all of life does that. Like it just kind of sags after the year. It's just like, all the cool stuff. Now everyone's cold and just kind of existing and waiting for spring.
Awesome. Well, I do want to thank you very much for doing this. It's great.
Man, thank you. Thank you. This has been great. And I'm looking forward to doing it again.
All right, so make sure to go check out that game, The Bounty V2 on Steam. I actually just picked it up. It's pretty cool, especially if you like retro gaming. Now, another thing that we need help with is these stories that we're collecting. Like I said earlier, we're looking for them to come from everyone. So if you have a story that you think is awesome, hit us up on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @JALARAQUE. You can also find me on Instagram. And we have two ways to do it. Either you can come on and do an interview with us, or if you want to record your story and send it in to us, that's fine too. Of course, we're going to check it out, make sure everything's cool and okay, but then we'll feature it on the episode, and we'll even plug something for you too. But we need y'all to plug us, because we help each other, and we all can get up, right? Alright. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll be back very soon for another episode of the Gamer Time Capsule. And remember our saying, a great story never dies. See you next time.